Hey, shalom, shalom.
Hey, you want to open it?
Hold on real quick. We good? We good? You
Yeah,
can
I
hear
hear
me?
you well. I would let me see if my audio still be good if I just swipe to the left to pull out scripture.
We live right now.
When I just went off,
Yeah, you went out.
say that again.
I was saying, yeah, you went out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hold on, me. I guess you could go ahead and open it. I'm about to just about to run to the side real
Okay, yeah, I
fast.
got you. All right, so yeah, we just technical difficulties. We getting it together. So before we get started, I'm gonna give all the glory.
Hashem,
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 Bakwadash. Yep, double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and safety to all the Sister Akim that's out here. Me and the brother, we just trying to do this live together. So it's first time we just working out the kinks. So um, the title of this stream is we still got more work to do, brothers. So the 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 elder had reached out. He was brainstorming on this lesson. So we just wanted to build on it because through this, there's a lot of prophecies that are happening and speaking. Matter of fact, I'm gonna open with that. Let me get my sword open. Let me get a scripture real quick. This is Habakkuk. Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk 2 and 1, and it says, "And I will stand upon my watch and set upon my tower, and will watch to see what will he say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." So again, I just wanted to bring that out as the scriptures speak about it speaking. And we see it, we can hear it, we can see it, but we don't want to get too overzealous with our approach to prophecy, that you could basically drain yourself by being too zealous in your approach, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But you got it, brother. I just wanted to just throwing it out there.
Con. Hey, just to add to the elder, because this is a race of like scripture speak about a race of endurance. Scripture speak about how the race is not given unto the swift. We 9-10 years ago, a few prophecies back then, and we was overzealous, but nonetheless the zeal was there. But as we seen the development of prophecies and things take place, we we was strongly encouraged that we was close to the end, and that was almost over a decade ago, and here we are now. But nonetheless, like even apostles always going to how the disciples was like that. Scripture says you will desire to see a day, and it shall not come. But that doesn't mean that the day is not going to come, because the scriptures speak about how the Lord is going to come as a thief in the night. So while we here, the scriptures, which I'll get, we got to stay occupied. And the main portion of this occupation is
Like,
this ministry. You got it, brother.
I was gonna say, yeah, like it said it. It's for an appointed time, and as the scriptures say, no man knoweth the day, but the Lord. So we're forecasting things, because if you let your spirit get into this, like you're saying, when we were younger, I remember like you said, when I first came into the camp, and the Boston Marathon situation occurred, and I was things like that happen, you know, especially when you have the lens. Now your eyes are your heart is circumcised to these things. Now your eyes are able to see these things. So the feeling and the ability to it's for an appointed time that has appointed. So we gotta patiently wait. Can I read a quick precept real quick? Real quick one. This is Luke 21:19. And it says, in your patience possess ye your souls.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got it, bro.
And apostles always go into that word patience means to suffer. You know, right now we suffering, man. You know, we going through hell. We know we all are being afflicted one way or another in this captivity, you know, but still, you know, you still have to do this work, you know, which we've been, you know, discussing how certain men, you know, they'll make their woes make them fall out of the truth. The scriptures speak about how the seed is going to fall upon pretty much three types of men, you know, which is likened unto the ground. I think it was the stony when it says the cares of the world and afflictions choke them up, you know, and riches and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
You know, scripture speak about I think by and by man get offended, and the scripture speak about the good seed which laid upon the man and he took it brought forth certain folds, 100-fold, 200-fold, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to be that brother, you know, that allows the cares of the world to choke us out, man. You know, we're gonna always have hell to deal with, man. We're in hell. You know, one man's hell doesn't overlap the
Right.
next man's hell. We all catching it, bro. You know, we're all catching it one way or another. You know, and we have, you know, we feel each other because we know we go through it together. That's why we're doing this work. So that, like scripture speak about how the captive exile hasteth, that he shall be loosed from the prison, that he shall
Mm-hmm.
not die in the pit. We're working so we could get up out of this prison. That's the point of doing the work. That's the point of praying. That's the point of doing, like the scripture speak about, doing the work of an evangelist, doing and administering in this faith, because as we work this work, we're gonna get rewarded on the back end, man. And the back end that we're gonna receive is the kingdom of heaven. But on the front end, we catching hell. You know, we're suffering. Oh yeah,
Hey,
you got it, brother.
if I may, I was gonna say that's a beautiful point that you said.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you said, there's levels everything. See, you gotta, you know, the scriptures say, you know, prophet or appointed time or a vision, you know, of work. You got to be able to see the whole job in all the way in. And a lot of big checks, the people who are on a carnal level, who made this whole come together, a lot of times they get paid down the road. But
Mm-hmm.
see, you know, the scriptures that goes into the penny. You know, Jake be wanting to get it. I've been serving you for 5 years, 6 years, 3 years, and hey, I need payment now,
Mm-hmm.
man. Now, nigga, and be ready, nigga, put you know, kill somebody over didn't receive on, you know, that's like project manager or a contractor. They might not get paid until the whole
Oh
complete.
yeah.
So that's what this is all. We're builders
Mm-hmm.
here. Like you said, we're building. You know, we're building on that payment, and that's not gonna come. We got to sacrifice. Here's your pay.
Mm-hmm. I got a quick pre. Okay. This is Luke 19 and 11. And as they heard these things, he added and spake a parable, because he was nigh to Jerusalem, and because they thought that the kingdom of the Most High should immediately appear. He said, therefore,
Ooh.
a certain nobleman went into a far country to receive for himself a kingdom and to return. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. verse 14, but his citizens hated him and sent a message after him saying, we will not have this man to reign over us. But the main point that I want to get in the scripture is occupy, because this is our occupation. And I'll get it in the Greek. The word occupy goes into prag. Matter of fact, I can click the audio. Oh, well, you can hear it.
Strong's G 4231. Pragmatuomai.
Yeah.
Pragmatuomai.
Tuomai, which means to be occupied in anything, to carry on a business, to carry on the business of a banker or a trader. You see? To be busy, to occupy oneself. Yeah, so this is our occupation, and this is the business of the Lord, And the scriptures speak about how the Lord, pretty much went, he got caught up. So the Lord technically can't represent himself on earth. That's why he sets up men to push the words that was already written. All right. We have our forefathers that walked, and carried to a certain point. And from books, but these men passed. Now, of course we understand reincarnation, but the point that I want to make is, they passed and they gave us this holy Bible to teach, to minister, to wake up the elect. And the elect are not sealed, because the scriptures speak about in Revelations, when the elect is sealed, that's when pretty much all judgment is going to take place. It's still brothers and the few sisters that are able to adhere, that are still out there without this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That's why the Spirit still has us on those street corners, man. That's why the Spirit still has us pushing these spiritual epistles out, because there's still a lot of souls that are hungry. The scriptures speak about ones that hunger and thirst for righteousness' sake. They see that this kingdom is corrupt. They see the society is collapsing. They're going through, the worst case scenario, and they want to break. And to be honest, we are that break. We are the ones that, like, all right, we're gonna make the sense. We're gonna put everything in the true reality, because mass majority of people, their whole lives are upside down, and we have the blessings of the Lord to bestow onto people to get their lives right side up, so they can see the world truly as it is, through clear lenses, and also so that they could actually get their souls retrieved out of this kingdom. And that's what this whole thing is about, man. You got anything you want to say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, because I remember read this real quick. This is Matthew 22:9, and it says, "Go ye therefore into the highways, and as many as ye find, bid to the marriage." And like you said, that's the wedding hasn't started yet.
Perfect.
It hasn't started yet. That's when the Lord comes back, and and all of those steps play out. But right now, we're still in the process of prepping the wedding, prepping this. That's why we're still going to the highways and the hedges. We're still preparing. And like you beautifully said, about giving people that rest. Well, the Lord, we're all representatives of Yahushua, which Yahushua is the comfort. And these people and these times are looking for comfort. So like you said, we really we're about to really start working. All of this up to this point that we've been doing has been preparing the way for prophecy, and for people to see that there are prophets, and to these different elements. But very soon these people are going to flood the prophets and look and seek for answers. See, before, that's why when the scriptures speak about in Amos about the fact of that they shall wander from north to west, seeking for understanding because of that famine of the word. That's because before the Lord takes away his spirit away from these people through the prophets, by us not teaching, these people are going to be in all out hysteria and seek for answers and having questions, and why is that happening? That's why the Lord said, though it tarry, wait. So we have to, though it's tarrying, wait, patiently suffer, like you said, suffer in waiting for those great moments to occur. But we still got to do what we got to do in between. That's where the faithful servant spirit comes into play. Not you serving because you had you had a schedule in your head. You said in
Mm-hmm.
your head that the end was going to come in 2020, or the end was going to come in 2000, or the end was going to come in 2024 at April the 8th on a solar eclipse. Whatever you thought, the Lord never told us that that was when the days the Lord was going to come back. He said, "No man knoweth the day." So
Mm-hmm.
we got to keep working until the Lord returns and tells us, "Good servant," deems us good servants, or however, Lord willingly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just to add to the elder, not being in that short-sighted mentality,
Mm-hmm.
thinking, all right, after 2 or 3 years, if it don't work out, I'm done. When you look at our forefathers, they was working, whether they were the priests or they was the kings, whatever service that they had to occupy within the nation, they worked that work until the end. Now of course, I think even with the priests, I think at a certain age, the baton would probably be passed. you know but even in the case of that, um those men were still doing certain things pertaining to the service of the Lord. you know like as a righteous man, they were still getting with younger men, teaching the younger men the ways of to set up the tabernacle, to adjust the candlesticks. I'm just giving um metaphorically, or just giving a literal sense of it, so to speak.
Okay.
On even men at a certain age, if you were to think, all right, quote unquote retirement, they were still administering, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and they loved it. That was the thing. It wasn't something, even though it was work. Just like people say in the world, if you're gonna work a job, do something that you love to do, so it doesn't feel like work, you
Yeah.
know, because even though you're working, you should have that passion at the end of the day, where it's like, I do this because not only because of the check, but I do it because I love to do this. I actually get a thrill. I enjoy it. It's not burdensome, because after a while, what, you're gonna want to switch careers.
Yep.
You're gonna want to change everything up. You're gonna be depressed. You're gonna go to the job angry. You're not gonna like the work, the workforce. You're gonna always complain, you know, and you're gonna throw off the whole morale of the system that you're in, and probably end up getting fired or kicked out. And that's what happens,
Yep.
And you start to see the spirit on certain Jakes, you know. And it's not all brothers, of course, but you'll have those few Jakes, that got that. Apostle I said it years ago. You have, Jake first come to the camp, chest out, staff, the staff in hand. Next thing you know, you got the shrug shoulders, looking all dehydrated. Just the posture just changes more and more. When you see that Jake is almost at that point of giving up,
Mm-hmm.
and you see in certain Jake eyes, like, man, Jake got that spirit of tired, man. And it'd be sometimes Jake that ain't even been in the truth for that long, three
Yeah.
years, 3.5 years, or 4 years. The apostles have been doing this,
Decade.
for 20, 30 plus years, and they don't never show signs of being tired. You know, These start to weigh on you, but they still show a high level of zealousness. They always show enthusiasm.
They never.
They're very enthusiastic, with this
They
ministry.
never.
So we have to do the
I
same
was gonna
thing.
say
Go
never.
ahead.
Like you said, the scriptures say that the elder men shall be known by their wisdom. So the elders and apostles, they never shun to declare the wisdom that Yahweh Shem Yahushua has given them, for our sake. They declare it every day, and they feed us that. So like you said, even though they may not physically be able to do the things that they were able to, in the younger part of their ministry, they've matured and grown, and laid forth a foundation that we can feel safe in. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I got a quick one to what you were saying. This is
You
First
got it.
Corinthians 13, and 12, and it says, "Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall
Mm-hmm.
try every man's work of what sort it is." So, like how you said, like, that fire be turning up, and it be burning Jake, because Jake is not, no matter how we want to feel, you know. And this is just in the name of the work, because through the spirit we don't know. I pray I'm a
Mm-hmm.
gold level brother or a silver, or you get what I'm saying? So I'm not speaking
Mm-hmm.
from a point of it's already established, because see, that's why we're still here working. If you're still here working, there's a possibility that you are a gold, silver, or precious stone, because the fire is already on us. But as that fire
Mm-hmm.
increases, you should be getting made more purer and getting better, stronger, and not
That's
getting
a really good point.
weaker. Like you said, if
Mm-hmm.
you came in and you're a wood, anytime that fire come, hey man, we see fire with wood, it catch, start
Mm-hmm.
smoking and sizzling, and then before you
Mm-hmm.
know it's just a few ambers left. So
Yep.
through the spirit, you got to be armed with the whole thing. You got to know that this is a again, like you said earlier, Elder, this is a marathon. It's a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And the apostles and elders have been telling us that for years, and they're an example unto us. But see, where I think a lot of men get tripped is they start gauging this walk according to the apostles and elders walk. Like, well, they've been walking this long, so it shouldn't be that much longer. None of us are we don't set the timeline. The Lord set the timeline. He's the Ancient of Days. His Son is the Alpha and Omega. We are just here. Matter of fact, can I
Mm-hmm.
read another precept I was holding as
Yep.
well?
Most
This
definitely.
is another one. This is 2 Peter's 3 and 8. And it says, "But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness, but is long suffering to usward, not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance." And that's the thing, like the Lord is
Mm-hmm.
merciful. See, if the Lord would have came back in the year 2000, like what all those men of old wanted, hey man, I'd be cooked. We'd be done.
Oh yeah.
We'd be done.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Lord is long suffering with us, because we don't know. There's a lot of men, like you said earlier, there's a lot of elect out there. And the Lord is not going to let any of his sheep go down just in the name of you losing patience. There's
Mm-hmm.
certain prophets through the spirit. I'm gonna say it through the spirit. There's certain men that the Lord is waiting to come of age before, like
Yeah,
as
that's true. That's true.
like as you and I, we're witnesses. We're a testimony of that. Of the Lord was waiting for a group of men to age. Cause hey man, when the year 2000, I was shit man. Where were you at in the year 2000?
Oh yeah. Man, I was what? I was like 9 years old.
So you were 9 years
Wait, yeah.
old, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, think about it. You were 9. I was
Or
like
8?
middle school going on. Yeah, I was going to middle school, going to high school. So again, like the Lord was patiently waiting for all of this to evolve, and we can't get
Mm-hmm.
out of sight of that as well. Where, amen, the Lord might have a batch of men that He's waiting to age that might be in high school right now, 15, 16, 17. That he's
Yep.
waiting like, nah, this is my next age, this is my next wave. And when they get to 17, 18, 19, I'm gonna give another adder to the ministry. I'm just
Mm.
speculating in the spirit of what happened before, that the apostles and elders had to be patient for us, that hey man, we gotta patiently wait. And we all say that Lord willing, the Lord come back now. If it was up to us, just as much as the apostles, the Lord would have, we wanted the Lord come back right now. But the
Mm-hmm.
Lord may have another a couple years on us. He may, you never, I mean, we don't know. So you can't go
We
into
don't
this
know.
with a mind frame of I'm only living my life up until 2024. Bro, you're gonna cause a lot more pain to yourself, a lot more destruction. You're gonna get into that kamikaze mind frame of not paying your bills, not taking care of your health. You're gonna start not taking care of your responsibilities. And then when 2025 come around, you're gonna be sick, because now you done basically, you get what I'm saying? Said fuck it.
Sabotage
You
yourself.
said fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
You said fuck it. The Lord never told us, well, nah, brother, it's say fuck, walk away, fuck that job, fuck that house, fuck paying
Yeah.
your bill,
Fuck that credit.
fuck that
Don't
credit,
don't.
fuck your health. Don't do none of that shit. We out of here. The Lord ain't never say that to us.
Mm-mm.
You got it, bro.
Yeah, most definitely. I'll get this in Matthew 11:28. It says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Yeah. So, this truth isn't difficult. Like I was talking to a brother the other day, involving a situation that took place, and of a Jake that's making this thing harder than what it is. I'm not gonna go into the full scale details, but I was like, at the end of the day, when you think about Saturdays, all we do is drive down, put our garments on, and just teach.
Yes.
We not going through no real rigorous. The worst you go through on a Saturday is traffic to get to the city.
Or the weather. It's hot or it's cold.
Or the weather. And in most conditions, brothers go. Some brothers are in some very, very tough zones. When it comes to cold weather or hot weather, it's the elements change up, of course, depending on your city and the city and state you're in. But for the most part, this truth isn't difficult, man. If you do that which is required, you're gonna see the fruits of it. You're gonna see the longevity of it. That's why even our elders and apostles, you see how they made, like, I'll just say this, how Jake can make an easy thing difficult, and Jake can make something that may seem difficult easy. Even though this truth, it's a lot of understanding, it's a lot of knowledge, wisdom, and knowledge, wisdom. It's a lot of prophecies, a lot of history. But it's still known as a little book. It's as you continue in this truth, and little by little, if you read 5 chapters a day, just or 5 chapters a week, after a certain point, you don't read the whole Bible. And that's just only from, I'm just saying, from just doing micro progressions, as the saying go. As you do small progressions in your life, in the spirit, as you study and do your camps and stuff like that, you'll see and look back, and you'll see longevity. And that's something that brothers admire. Like, we look at our apostles and things of that nature. In the Holy Bible, like the apostle Paul, he said that more was encouraged in my bonds, seeing what I went through. When you hear the trials and tribulations of what men went through, it encourages you to want to be strong. It encourages you to want to be better, to work harder. Doing what it takes, doing that which is required. And doing it with from a good place, not doing it just because somebody telling you to do it. Because if you're doing it because somebody telling you to do it, you really, at a certain point, you're gonna wax stubborn. It's gonna become way more difficult. And like the scripture speak about being headstrong in this truth. You're gonna eventually get proud, and you're gonna get cast out. This is a selfish ministry. Now, of course, it's selfishness, a level of selfishness that comes to it. But at the end of the day, it's something as an act of charity, man.
Yes.
And the scriptures speak about how charity covereth the multitude of sin. And charity is a form of working. If you look at charity, like fund drive, charity drives and things of that nature, those people are actually working. That's why it's another term for it. What do they call it? Non-profit organizations, where you pretty much work for not a you're not working for a profit. It's an organization, and you're not really necessarily working for a profit. This is kind of like a form of a non-profit. Now we know there's true profits at the end of the day.
If I could say,
you got it,
because you're right, is that with a non-profit, the organization is not profiting. But if you work for Red Cross or one of these different so-called non-profits out there, if you work for them, they're gonna cut you a check because you work for the company. The company is not seeing a profit that you just rolling over. No, you're putting it back into the company. So, like you said, you're right. That's exactly what this is to a certain level. You could say that's what this is.
I'm continue on. Matter of fact, I'll get this word yoke. I'm gonna read it over. Going back to 29 in Matthew, the 11th chapter, Matthew 11 and 29. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. And we got the ultimate example of Yahawashi, which what he went through in 3 years. It don't matter. All of us brothers, we haven't even went through half of that in our years in this ministry, or decades in our ministry. Yahawashi, the crucifixion and all the hell that he suffered for the sake of us being able to receive this knowledge? Because the scripture speak about in Revelations how this truth was sealed. You know, he loosed the seal so that we could get this precious work done, man.
That's right.
Be able to actually learn this truth and to adhere unto these prophecies and to teach it, you know, to understand it and not be blindfolded by the woes of this world, by the hell of this devil pushing witchcraft and pushing all kind of deceit. You
Yep.
know, none of us want to have those blindfolds back over our eyes, man. So the Lord has given us this light and it's certain requirements. You know, the scriptures speak about how we bought with a price. It is we gave our souls unto this ministry when we first entered the camp. That's pretty much signing your life
Hey,
over
well,
in
you
blood,
know,
man.
we
You
talk
know,
about Jake on the
you got
left
it.
hand side. You know, oh, you know, yo, he sold his soul. He sold his soul. Hey, well, you know, in a righteous sense, when we were all in the world, we had a wanting for more, a wanting for true understanding and what's really the answers to these things. And like you said, it came with a cost. Like we on a righteous sense, we sold our soul to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, speaking for ancient infinite wisdom. You know, they show it in different levels of these. You know,
Mm-hmm.
hey, real quick, which is a good. It's a horror movie. It's a jacked up movie, but Hellraiser. You know, with Pinhead. It's a jacked
Oh
up
yeah.
movie, but
Mm-hmm.
really the whole premise of that movie was people were looking for this infinite type of knowledge and understanding, and it came through that a demonic box, right? That's what the movie's about. But everything shows that there's a cost to gaining high levels of understanding and wisdom. And like you said, the
Mm-hmm.
Lord's not see Jacob sign up to sell their soul to Esau for certain things and don't even question it. But then when the Lord requires, hey, well, this is the payment for that. I require you to do this, that, and the third, and until I say in. And if you don't, I'm a unalive you. That was the contract. It's the same contract, just in a righteous sense, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I remember, as a testimony, this elder was here. You know, the other elders and bishops of the camp. When Apostle Ricard came down, you know, he gave us like a spiritual chin checker. And one thing that he was amplifying in our you know, and amongst us was to do more. You know, he was like, who's the first? You know, who's the second in command? Who's the third in command? And I remember he you know, called my number. Then he came. He said, "Step up, you know, brother, do more, man. You know, look at me dead in the eye. You know, Pastor Ricard, he ain't holding no punches. You know, do more, brother. You know, do fucking more. You know." And when he said it, you know, I was like, you know what, that's real. You know, going back to that fire. When brothers push that fire upon us, and the Bishop of Tazawam, you know, brothers, they have a good tendency of pushing, whether it's reproof or rebukes. That's something that stimulates you. Either you're not gonna like it, and you're gonna be like, oh fuck this shit. He ain't finna talk to me. You know, he ain't finna talk to me like that. That's the truth. I should do more. I should want more out of myself. Digging more into my inner potential, you know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema. You know, different things. Make those spiritual breakthroughs, man. The level that we at, you know, sometimes brothers be impressed with that, but a lot of us brothers really not on that level. We're not even, we haven't even really reached half of our potential, man. You know,
Hey,
that's why there's no, as the scripture says, the greater thou art, the more humble thyself, to give yourself more of ability to actually make it to that next level of yourself. You got it, Elder Salaki.
I was gonna say, well, through the spirit, really, none of us are on that level. You know, none of us here are on that level. If you know, as the apostles and elders say, you know, we're all YouTube babies. You know, no matter whether you were one of the first waves or recent waves, we're babes. And through the spirit, that's important to recognize in this walk as well. Man, we are babes, and the scriptures say, despise not thy youth. So it's a level of trusting the process and going through it. You know, when you're going to take chastisements and corrections, because that's what any child would have to go through. So it's all part of the like you say, the inflaming you. You know, when we all played sports as a child, you know, we all had those different coaches that would, you know, get in your chest and tighten you up to get that potential out of you, to get more out of you. And the reality of it all is that's what we need as Israelites. That really through the spirit, that soft understanding, it has its time and its place, but really as a whole, our neck. And that's why we go to camp and we go hard, because why? We're a hard and stiff-necked people, you know. So if the Lord do that to Jake in the world, when he have it on us, why wouldn't he do that to us?
Mm-hmm.
We, you know, the Lord, he checks us, but it's not like you said, it's in the spirit of like, hey man, come on man, you could do better, you could do more. And that's where humility, like the scriptures say, comes into play. Humility will have you knowing, hey man, I can always do more, I can always be better. But nobody wants to deal with a nigga that thinks that like he's perfected it, whatever that is. Yeah, I got it. I'm perfected. I'm the best at this. You don't want to be nobody likes that spirit, man.
Mm-hmm. You want to be always moldable, man. Scripture speak about, like gold. Gold is the most malleable metal there is. It's easy
I
for.
think it is.
Now, of course, you got different metals that are able to be formed and things of that nature, but the malleable, like apostles always wanted to that the point where you would find gold, you would bite it, and you would actually see that it's bending, the bending nature of it, and you don't know you struck gold. So being able to bend through bend and not broken. I think when you look up the word malleable, which I could get real fast,
Mhm.
real fast, malleable. It says
Hey,
capable of being shaped or formed as by hammering or pressure, able to adjust to changing circumstances, adaptable.
if I may say, that's
Mm-hmm.
the main thing that when we talk to brothers, that we push, is that you got to make adjustments. This thing is all about making adjustments. You might have walked your walk. Hey, brother, we've been around each other for some years now, and the way that we met each other is not where we are today.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In the senses of, hey, we met each other at this point, living here, driving this, working here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's changed over a decade's time, you know, and it was a lot of adjustments that had to be made to still be here at this moment. And it's not about our length or any of that. The apostles and elders have had to make adjustments along the road, because it comes with it. So like you said,
Mm-hmm.
if you think you're just gonna come into here and this is the way that I am, and I'm a stick to it this long and that length and this way, you're not you might not be gold, because like you said, gold can be, you can take a piece of gold and you can make jewelry, you can make a ring, you can make a chain, you could use it in
Mm-hmm.
electrical work, you could put it in
You
wiring,
could you could digest it.
you could digest it.
It's edible. Yep.
You can make plates, you can make forks,
It's a
you could
conductor.
go play a gun, and now you got now you
Mm-hmm.
got a weapon that can, now you got a weapon with gold. Like, gold can go
Mm.
any and everywhere. So it's not for us to dictate, no, 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 I like it like this. I'm a ring. Hey man, the Lord can take that same ring, gold, melt it down, and like you say, make a dagger.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to be willing to go through those changes. Can I get a quick one to that, if you don't
Mm.
mind?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Hell yeah.
That's This is Lamentations 4:1, and it says, "How is the gold dim? How is the most fine gold changed? The stones of the sanctuary are poured out into the tops of every street." So if we're here prophesying and teaching these words, we all are striving to be part of that gold, that most fine gold. And within that gold, I remember a brother years ago, one of my beloved brothers was saying that, hey brother, you might be a certain type of stone, or a certain type of, you might be an emerald, you might be a gold chain, or a gold ring. And each of these stones and jewels and precious stones take different pressure points to shave them into the point, to the stone that you want, or to the shape that you want, to the size, everything that goes into jewelry making, that you gotta just deal with it. If the Lord see you as an emerald cut stone, and He wants to say, yeah, nah, it's gonna be like an earring or whatever, then the Lord it's gonna take certain. That's why brothers really should watch jewelry making. All of these things within the ministry, you really should become a level. You should have a level of understanding, because the Lord didn't use these as metaphors and similes and just to for shits and giggles. You should really see how jewelry, like gold, like how you say, when gold is turned into the heat and they, and all of the different elements and how it's melted down. You should understand that process to the best of your ability through the Spirit, because that's what's happening to you.
Exact same thing, Hey, I remember which I was meditating on when the elder was speaking. Bruce Lee, he made that statement as being water, and this truth is known as living water. I forget how he said it in particular. Speaking about how water is strong. It could be formless. It could pretty much be in any. It's the element of elements. Any environment, it could shape it. And as a brother, like even going back to that point of gold, how gold is easily digestible, or edible, even as a brother, like when you think about easily digestible, with, so to speak, you got to be a brother that's easy to be dealt with, man. Like if you're dealing with a brother in the spirit and he's stiff necked, he's hardened, that's like, oh yeah, what they call it, rock headed,
yeah,
adamant minded, man. It's like, it was what JB said, it ain't no getting through to him.
They hard headed.
You want to be a brother that's easy, hard headed. You want to be a brother where that we got to do, which we're talking about. It's a lot of work to do to work up the elect, and it's a lot of internal work, a lot of fixing and restructuring, a lot of mindset elevation. And not that it's not that we're pieces of shit or anything like that. It's still a lot of work to do. Like we always talk about it. Some of us brothers came in the truth at 20, 25. Some brothers 30, 40. That's 40 years of just caked up demons. Things of the world. Now, of course, it's truth. You let go when you flush a lot of that baggage, but it is still underlying demons that still tend to be on you, and through certain circumstances, they rear their ugly head, and that's part of the work too. Working on yourself, by day by day, working on yourself to become better and easily to be easily manageable. Like when you're working and you're dealing with individuals, like on the job, or if you're a manager, one thing managers love is somebody that's easy to manage. And you want to be easily manageable. Not a brother that's always got the most to say. That my way or the highway mentality. Because the spirit makes adjustments. That's what, going back to gold, being adaptable. So if the spirit requires XYZ out of us, we have to try to make these things to be done to the best of our ability.
Hey, well, like you were saying about gold, real quick, if I may, a good video to watch is watch how Cuban links are made. Everybody loves the Cuban link chains and bracelets, but there's a way where they really, like you say, they really bend those links. Like everything that you see in a Cuban link chain it was from the art. It was the craftsmanship of that jeweler or the whatever the name of the person that made it to bend it and like they'll bend it all the way out to see if there's any and if it breaks, like a link will pop. They'll have to reheat it, do all the things all over again to get it strength wise so that it can't pop. So like you said, it's like the Lord is doing all of this onto us, and if we're still catching hell and still being built up, it's because we haven't been built. Really, you got to understand, if the Lord ain't came back, that means we really ain't built to the point of salvation.
Yeah,
So
that's
that
true.
means, technically speaking, even though we're here in 2024, if the Lord would have came back in 2020, 2021 for a lot of us probably wouldn't have made it.
Mm-hmm.
Just off of the fact that we're still here building and getting stronger and getting more durable. We're being hardening up. Maybe we're not at a place of hardness yet for the Lord to really bring about that day like there's never been, Jacob's trouble.
Mm-hmm. You want to get a few more and close out?
Yeah. I got one right here, and
Okay.
this is Luke 14, and I'm gonna go straight to Luke 14. I'm gonna skip. That's a good point, but Luke 14 and 20. No, I can't. I'm sorry, 26. Real quick, I'll read it fast. This will be my last precept. It says, "For if any man come to me and hate not his father and his mother and wife and children and brethren and sisters, yea." See, and we love to pull the scripture about putting, Yahweh Shem Yahushai before all of these wife, your children, etc., etc. It also says your own life. So you got to be mindful that this work in the service of Yahweh Shem Yahushai should become first, even before you. So it's not about you and how you feel about time. Well, I wanted it to come. Man, the Lord don't care about none of that. That's why you got to deny yourself. Verse 27, and it says, "And whosoever doeth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple." That's self-explanatory. Verse 28, and it says, "For which of you intend to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficiency to finish it." See, prophets is the highest occupation of work that a man can have, the flesh on the planet Earth. This is work. That's why we said earlier, it's like being a project manager or architect. We're like miniature Yahweh Shem Yahushais. We're not just simple, even though this is a labor, this is not a simple labor. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a construction company, that's building a skyscraper, right? There's people, like I was saying earlier, there's people that are making sure that those blueprints are on point and being read properly and being followed. And then there's just a guy that's just there to make sure that, hey man, pick up. We worked on jobs together. So you just like the person over the truck. He's in clean clothes. You know what I'm saying? He has to properly count the cost. He knows what the cost is to run this job site daily. You know what I'm saying? So we understand that when it comes to counting the cost, it's a big cost.
It is, yeah.
This is not a little project. This is not some, like there's jobs where, hey, well, you know what? I'm working this job for 3 months. No, we're working this job until the end. To the very end. And you got to imagine all the bumps in the road that are going to come. So I'm going to read this off and finish it and throw it to you. And it says, "For which of you intend to build a tower, sitteth not down first and count the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it, less happily after he have laid the foundation is not able to finish it, and all that behold it begin to mock it, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish." And no person that works with their hands wants to work on a job that doesn't finish, because somebody didn't budget it correctly. Somebody thought that this was only going to be a 6-week job site, and then it turned into being a 24-week job site, and now it's just sitting there looking dusty, unfinished. It's an eyesore. That's a, like I said, there's a difference, but there's a difference in being a laborer and being a project manager, construction, general contractors. Like you said, we're all literally individual general contractors over our own ministries, working to build the house of David through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So you gotta see projects. Some projects might not finish even in your life. But we know that we're at the end, so this will finish in our life. But hey, man, a certain project. Hey, Elder Abba Bevins and those elders, they started this project, and it didn't come in the end of their lives. So that's how big of a project this is. So I just wanted to say that through the spirit. You got it, Elder.
Hey, most definitely. I guess I'll close with this in First Peter's. That's important, man. You know, even our apostles. I know you make that joke. I always think about it though. He was like, Jay-Z said, Hov went through that, so you don't have to go through that.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing in the truth. You know, but you
Yeah.
look at Yahweh Shah went through that, so we don't have to go through that.
That's a
You know,
fact.
now the scriptures speak about some of us are going to be beheaded for the truth's sake, but the heavy lifting of this ministry has really already been done. You know, men actually been that's had been persecuted. Yahweh Shah actually becoming that sacrifice. 70 AD. You know, all these different prophecies that took a toll on us as a nation. You know, majority of the Holy Bible has been fulfilled already. You know,
That's
now
right.
of course we're gonna have to go through the time of Jacob's trouble. This take place in our personal lives, but we're really at the end. So it's like at the end, we see the finish line. As we gotten closer, you know, we're seeing more and more things on Neuralink. I remember you just posted I don't know if it was yesterday about the chip visualization. You know, brothers posting all these different things on the war of Iran, the battle of Armageddon. You know, we're literally here.
We're here.
Like when you're running and you see that tape, it's only a few more meters, you know, in this marathon race until we hit the finish line. We already did the bulk of the work. So the work that we're doing now, you should be hella enthusiastic. You should want more. You know, when you see that you closer to the tape than ever, that should make you want to jog a little bit harder, give more spirit, give more energy.
Payday is almost
commit
here.
more. Payday is almost here. Take the stock out of the world. Like, ain't even no point in being overly invested in this world. You know, when you see that the kingdom is around the corner. Now, like we just said, you still take care of your affairs. You know, you have duties, you have requirements. The scripture, we know the scripture speak about he that pretty much doesn't take care of certain things is worse than an infidel, which is an unbeliever. So you do have to take care of your business, you know. But as we see the times approaching closer and closer, you know, this thing, man. You know, because your payout is coming. Hell, you have certain brothers that's came into this thing within the last few months, you know, the last few weeks with our Israelites pretty much for the most part. Some more fruit coming to this thing, man. More and more people are acknowledging and listening, adhering, bowing their ear. You know, we're actually seeing a shift of the momentum. When it was in the world's favor, darkness favor, a lot of people are exposing these celebrities as being freaks and demons, you know, and seeing the ways of the Lord as being clear as day. You know, so the momentum is literally in the prophet's favor, man.
That's right.
You know, it was a time where the prophets would get stoned and beat to death for just teaching. You know, now we're at the point through the spirit where, you know, a lot of people are respecting what we're doing, and not that hell is not going to come, but the contributions of the elect, you know, which even though it seems like a small number, the 144,000 and 1/3, that's still a great number of Israel, and we're seeing them actually
little
come
sanctuaries.
Little sanctuary. But we're seeing them actually come into this thing and be more vocal or contributory onto this thing, man. So it's just like the hard load really even in this work has really been done, man. All we have to do is just like scripture says, work while it is day. We have a standard of doing our videos and fellowship and communicate and things that's part of the work.
Hey, well,
You know, but
you know what, bro?
as far as actually having to die on the cross, we don't have to do that.
I
You
was
got
gonna
it,
say
brother.
real quick, just in me and your journeys together in this walk. It was a time when we first started doing lessons together. I damn near remember one of our first lessons that we did together. We would have to drive. We would have to drive to each other's locations, to their house. We had to set up an actual camcorder, right? It wasn't iPhones and streaming but look how this thing, like you said, the work is getting, it's to the closeout part, the punch out. And the scriptures speak about the Lord shall finish it. He's going to ultimately finish it, because starting a job and finishing a job are two of the hardest matters. Basic laborers can't start a job. Same thing with finishing. Finishing is like a very intricate, detailed minded person's approach, and the Lord's going to finish it, but through the Spirit. Like you said, man, look at us. We went live on YouTube. We didn't need no special software. We didn't need no type of special camera or phone or nothing. So at this point, there's really no excuse to not do this work, man, because the work, it's the foundation has already been laid. It's just do the work, report live, report to what you see through the Spirit, man. It's so many things that are happening that there's no reason why, as a prophet or a teacher or somebody that believes, they can't put 2 to 3 scriptures on these subject matters. You there? You there, bro? You there? You hear me, bro? You got it, bro. I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you.
You hear me? Okay. All right. I think I'll get in verse. I'll jump. Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now.
Yeah, you good. You good.
Or spotty.
Yeah, it's a little choppy, but I think you're good now.
Okay. That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shai. Yeah, so going back to that fire, we're all going through that fire, but that fire, when it's put to the test of depending upon the metal, it actually helps that metal appreciate. The element of fire can be destructive, but it can also be a what's the word I want to use? It's like a pro. It can progress. It could progress certain things or retrogress it, depending on the type of element it is. Going back to Corinthians, about how all elements is going to have to be tried through that fire.
Mm-hmm.
And the spirit is known as a fire too. So when the spirit be on certain elders or apostles and bishops, the light of fire out there, for brothers to work harder or do certain things, either you're gonna buckle and you're gonna do otherwise, or you just gonna work harder and actually use that fire as an enabler.
That's right.
Because fire can enable you, man. Fire those elements of comfort. Sometimes you need that fire. If you're lukewarm, you need that. Hell, what makes cold water hot water? What is it? Is it the thermostat or whatnot? But it's certain heat points that go within that to actually raise the temperature. And if you are a brother that's cold, the spirit will show, and the spirit will drill you down with the fire, whether it's a reproof, a rebuke, a counsel, a suspension, or just a little pep talk, or the spirit might just jump in your mind on doing certain
That's right.
But those things are for the progression of this ministry. It's all for the progressing of Yahweh Shai, because the Lord wants his servants to work. When the Lord was on the earth, was the Lord chilling? We don't read about Yahweh Shai in the beaches and the Lord took his vacation, and the prophets went to Africa, you know, and they those things aren't written. What's written is the business of the Most High.
That's right.
The work. So as we come together, it should mainly be the work, you know, and you should love this work. And just like the last point, you know, because it's almost been an hour. I remember you brought this point out about thoroughbreds, and I pulled up something on thoroughbred, but it's speaking about, which is a top bred horse. It speaks about what makes them top bred, certain characteristics that they hold within their vessel. It says thoroughbreds are considered hot-blooded horses that are known for their agility, speed, and spirit.
Damn.
You see? Because even though even all animals hold spirits, all vessels hold spirits, but it is levels to spirits too.
That's a fact.
You know? You had that movie Spirit. I think that was like a like a
yeah, it was. It was a horse. It's about horses. yeah.
I think that was
That's crazy.
But you want to be a thoroughbred in this truth. You know, it speaks about the speed, but it's not always about running fast, but keeping up with the pace, maintaining. You know, even though we're working, you still have to work with haste. You know, work with some fire under your behind.
With a fervent spirit.
Work like you
fervent spirit towards it.
Exactly. Having that, the scripture speak about fervent, which is a fever, which you have a fever, you get hot. But that's all I wanted to say. You had you want to close it or
no? That was it. So hey, I close it out. Hey, so with that, hey, we pray that this was edifying, and informative in the spirit. So we want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakadash. That's right. Hey, and double honors unto our apostles and others, a great millstone. Peace and safety to all you brothers. Hey, shalom to everybody that was able to tune in and will tune in. Shalom.